Ma'at family, welcome to another Sunday online NJIA Fellowship of the African Village and Cultural Center. I'm Ray Hagins, and I'm so glad that you guys are with me today. I was watching the comments before we even went live of the greetings and everybody coming into the room, letting me know that you're ready for our fellowship today. And I'm so excited about that. So let's get right into it by opening up with our fun song of One More Time. One more time, God allowed us to come together one more time. Okay, so let's lift our voices together, everybody. Sing it like you mean it. Yeah, if you're really happy about it, everybody say with me, one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together. Yeah, God allowed us to come one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah, to come together to praise God's name, just to praise His name. God allowed us to come together to praise His, to praise her name, to praise her name. Oh, God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah. Oh, my goodness. To sing our song, just to sing our song. God allowed us to come together to sing our song. To sing our song, yeah, to sing our song. God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah. Now let's put those hands together, come on. To clap our hands, to clap our hands. God allowed us to come together to clap our hands. Yeah, to clap our hands, to clap our hands. God allowed us to come together to clap our. God allowed us, yeah. Oh, shucks now. Everybody say one more time. Just one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. One more time. One more time. Oh, God allowed us. God allowed us, yeah. To come together one more time. God allowed us, yeah. Yeah. Just to praise her name. God allowed us, yeah. Been so good and kind. God allowed us, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, He did. God allowed us, yeah. God allowed us to come together one more time. Yay, bo, yay, bo, yay, bo. Brothers and sisters, listen, we're going to continue right on in to doing the oath to our ancestors at this time because we realize that we can do nothing without their blessing, all right? Before embarking upon any greater laudable undertaking, we must always implore the blessings of the deity and the blessings of our ancestors. So join with me and the brothers at this time as we say these words. O ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights. African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. Oh, ancestors, we call upon you and welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. Oh, ancestors, who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors, who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave the sciences to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave medicine to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave literature to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave philosophy to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave consciousness to the world. Oh, ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of our enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered, and give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us, and we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you, and we will not betray you. Ashe, Yebo.
And now, brothers and sisters, we want to take the time to honor just a few of the great Africans who have gone ahead of us.
Where would we be if it had not
call
been for
forth
their
their
sacrifice?
great African names and honor them. To pharaohs Narmer, Zoja, Sneferu, Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure, and the great vizier and physician and multi-genius Imhotep, we say Ashe.
Yes.
To Queen Nitocris, Queen Sobek Neferu, Queen Ahotep, Queen Amos Nefertari, Queen King Hatshepsut, Nefertiti, Queen T, and Queen Nefertari II, we say Ashe. To Menkepenra Tahuti Mays, known as Thutmoses III,
yes.
Amenhotep III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Ursama Atra, Setepenra, Rametsu Meriamun, Ramses II, Shabaka, Taharka, Hannibal, and the great African warrior Shaka Zulu, we say Ashe. To all of the kings, queens, priests, and warriors of Nubia, Waset, Ethiopia, Kenya, the Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, Central, South, and West Al-Kibu land, we say Ashe. To the more than 600 million Africans whose lives were lost in the European invasions of Africa and in the Middle Passage, we say Ashe. To the more than 300 million who have since lost their lives to racism and hate crimes, we say Ashe. To Harriet Tubman, Ashe. Frederick Douglass,
Ashe.
Mary McLeod Bethune,
Ashe.
Nat Turner,
Ashe.
Fannie Lou Hamer,
Ashe.
Sojourner Truth,
Ashe.
Carter G. Woodson,
Ashe.
Booker T. Washington,
Ashe.
Dr. Charles Drew,
Ashe.
Noble Drew Ali,
Ashe.
Benjamin Banneker,
Ashe.
George Washington Carver,
Ashe.
Bishop Richard Allen,
Ashe.
Bishop Charles Harrison Mason,
Ashe.
Howard Thurman,
Ashe.
Mother Mahalia Jackson,
Bishop Warren
the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey,
Ashe.
Benjamin E. Mays,
Ashe.
Langston Hughes,
Ashe.
Medgar Evers,
Ashe.
Paul Robeson,
Ashe.
Dr. Martin Luther King,
Ashe.
Malcolm X,
Ashe.
Thurgood Marshall,
Ashe.
Mother Clara Hale,
Dr. Yosef
Anna
Ben
Clayton
Yakinen,
Powell, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Dr. Asa Hilliard,
Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr.
Ashe.
John Henry Clark, Dr. John G. Jackson,
Elder Comey White,
Shikanta Diop,
Elder Harry Williams,
Dr. George G. M. James,
man.
Patrice Lumumba,
Yes.
Kwame Ture, Kwame Nkrumah,
Brother Herbert G. Terrell,
Dr.
yes.
Jacob Carruthers, Dr. Shaka Musa Badashango, Brother Ray Charles,
Elder
to our
Leroy
mothers and
Jackson,
fathers, our grandmothers and grandfathers, to our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers, our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, and all those who have gone ahead of us and have made their ancestral transition to their life, deeds, legacy, and contributions. We say, Ashe. Again we say, Ashe. Again we say, Ashe.
Ah, man, yes. The English translation of these words: God is great and he's worthy to be praised. I say hallelujah. God is great and he's worthy to be praised. Oh yeah, yeah. I say hallelujah. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say, you are with us. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say, you are with us. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come. They will say, you are with us. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Family, family, family. It's so wonderful when we have the opportunity to come together as we are right now. Oh, how can I express how much I appreciate you guys for being with me every week. I see you guys here in the chat room every week. Man, it's so wonderful. You come in, you're on time, you're not straggling in late, like most of us do. We go to church, the kind of thing, right? Oh, man, it's so good when we come live and you're right here waiting for us to get started. And I appreciate you for that, family. I thank you so very much, Well, brothers and sisters, I have a teaching for you today. I received a communication from a very good friend of mine this past week. Some of you may know her. She's an awesome presenter, teacher, lecturer, health specialist. Her name is Sister Corandon, but we call her Sister Q. And she informed me that someone who claims to be, I can't verify that he is or isn't, but they claim to be the grandson of Adolf Hitler. And they wanted to contact me to interview me or what have you. And I'm not sure that I'm really qualified to do an interview on Adolf Hitler. I don't know that much about him. Of course, I probably have heard the same things that most of you have heard, that he was a wicked man, whatever. I'm going to speak to that today. But what it brought back to mind was the message that whoever heard it, inquired about it, So I went back to listen to that message. Brothers and sisters, I taught this message about 21 years ago. And, I'm trying to just set this message up for you before I even get into it. When I taught this message, it caused a lot of waves in the Jewish community in the St. Louis area. In fact, shortly after I did this message, in fact, there was a sister who was a radio host on that radio station, which was radio station WGNU in St. Louis at the time. And she was pressured by her employers to retaliate against the things that I had said. But of course, her employers, were puppets for the Jewish community. And for a whole week, I was blasted because of my message. Well, I had a contract with the radio station, so they couldn't just censor my material or take me off the air, because my contract said I could say what I wanted to say. But what was deep was, to get me off the air, the Jewish community actually bought the radio station. Okay, and then sent me a letter letting me know that my content was not conducive to their new format. So, of course, I had to stop broadcasting there. I've forgotten all about that message, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm going to air it today for you, okay? And again, this is connected to, I think I shared with you last week how a lot of ministers, pastors are starting to watch me, listen to me. And one pastor in particular sent me an email asking, how can I move my congregation into African consciousness like you moved your congregation into African consciousness? Well, it was a tedious battle. It wasn't easy, okay, but it was a labor of love. And to this day, I would not trade one moment of everything that I went through in that process. Court battle, 4-month court battle from people who just didn't want to learn or didn't like the things I was saying, okay, and wanted to have me removed from my pulpit. It was deep, man, and even now, some of the comments that I get, some of the email that I get, people retaliating against what I say. Brothers and sisters, let me explain something to y'all, okay? You have the right to disagree with me. I can't knock you for that. You have I don't want you to just agree with something because I say it. That's one of the reasons why I say, don't take my word for what I say, okay? Make note of it and do your own research. If you don't like what I say, you don't like what I say, okay? But you do not have the right to disrespect me or to disrespect the room that we're in. I've had friends of mine who've asked me to come speak at their churches, knowing that I no longer preach Christianity. And I had one brother say, now, Doc, listen, when you come, okay, don't come trying to, move my furniture all around. I said, brother, I don't disrespect the house, okay? I don't do that. And brothers, in like manner, I hope that you don't disrespect the room, all right, the chat room, or, like I said, send me email, say anything you want to say. That doesn't have anything to do with where I stand, all right? I stand where I sit. You understand? Okay, and I sit in a certain place because of my research. I don't just say stuff to be saying it, okay? I research what I say, all right? Understand that. And if you don't agree with it, it simply means you don't know what I'm talking about. That's all. And what I'm saying is outside of your circumference of awareness. And having said that, let's get right into the teaching for the day. And I'll save any other comments I have till after the teaching. But as always, brothers and sisters, I like to put this on the screen. Okay. Here's what it says. The space inside this circle. I want y'all to remember this, especially in today's message. Okay. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here within this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Understand that, brothers and sisters. The reason why I put this up before I teach is because as a teacher, I'm going to say something that's outside of your circumference of awareness. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with. Okay. I'm saying something that they don't know about. I remember when I think it was my second year in Bible college, and my Old Testament professor, Dr. Robert Dahl, I'll never forget this day. He said, the Bible is an incredible book. And I'm sitting in the classroom and I said, amen, and he looked at me with this look on his face. And my mind took a picture of the look on his face, right? So after the class was over, he said, Mr. Hagins, may I have a word with you? I said, sure, doctor. Went to him, he said, do you know what the word incredible means? I said, yes. He said, okay. Have a good day. So as I left the college, on the way home, I was disturbed by the fact that he asked me that question. So needless to say, when I got home, I looked up the word incredible. I thought I knew what it meant because of how I'd heard it used all my life. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, man, that's incredible. I'm thinking like it's a good thing. Incredible means that it's not credible. It's not good. It's not trustworthy. It's not to be depended upon. So, of course, the next day when I went back to class, I went to him. I said, Dr. Dahl, why would you say such a thing about the Bible? He said, oh, I see you went home and looked up the word incredible, huh? I said, yes, sir, I did. And I'm offended by the things you said. Then he asked me this question. He said, Mr. Hagins, why did you come to this school? I said, to learn. He said, do you really want to learn? And here's what I said to him. As long as it does not contradict what I believe. He looked at me and said, well, sir, then you don't want to learn. Man, that was like somebody took a brick and hit me in the forehead. And I have never forgotten that. Okay. So brothers and sisters, this is a learning center. It's an online learning center. It's an online institute. I'm here to teach. Okay. Not to thrill and spill you. I'm not here to make you moan and shiver and shake and all that kind of stuff. I used to do that. I don't do that shit. Oh, excuse me. I almost cussed. I don't do that no more. Okay. I don't do that. I teach. You don't like what I say? Not a problem. In fact, you don't have to listen to me at all. All right. But you will not disrespect the room. I will delete you and block you. Understand that. All right. Having said that, let's get into the message for today. Okay. Yeah. Be blessed by this. Okay. This is a message from over 20 years ago. And it's called The Illegitimacy of a People Called Jews. I want you guys to listen and learn. Take notes. All right? Yeah. Let's be blessed today.
The message that I want to share with you today, brothers and sisters, is a message that if you grab it, if I can get it across to you like it's in my head, you will walk away from this place today saying, how could we have been so misled? How could the world have been so misled? If too many people begin to digest the message that I'm about to share with you, then the powers that be will have to, of necessity, launch an offensive to maintain their survival and control over the masses. There's a statement that says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. I found out that freedom is something that everybody says they want. But freedom is not something that everybody can handle. Unfortunately, some people need to be enslaved because it helps them to function better. And that's so tragic. The subject of the message today is, and I chose these words carefully. The subject of the message today is the illegitimacy of a people called Jews. Now, my research caused me to end up with a 26-page document. I tried to condense it down to 3 pages, and I ended up with 5. So I'm going to move through this as quickly, but yet as slowly as I can, because you can't afford for this to get past your mind. You got to digest this, absorb it as I'm saying it. I want to tell y'all about a people who I have found in my sincere research to be the most recent people as a people on this planet. My research has revealed to me that a legitimate, verifiable existence of these people cannot be found before the 6th century AD. Did y'all hear what I said? I didn't say 6th century BC. I said 6th century AD, meaning in the 500s. Before that, there is no evidence, documented evidence of their activity or behavior corporately as a people before the 6th century and as late as the 9th century. These people are truly the Johnnies come late of the world's population. Now check this out, y'all. Yet, despite their recent arrival as a corporate ethnic entity, within the space of a few hundred years, these people have managed to become the most powerful people on the planet. They are the principal controllers in the areas of finance. They own all the banks. They are the principal controllers in the area of government, in the areas of labor, law, entertainment, politics, history, maybe I should say his story, and religion. These people have seduced the world into being convinced of that which is not true. Let me say that again. These people who just came on the scene about 1,100 years ago have seduced the world and convinced them into believing what is not true. Lord have mercy. These people who have no idea whatsoever of their true origins have in fact written a history. They made up a history. They fabricated a history that's not only false, it also identifies them as God's chosen and blessed people above all the other races on the planet. Are y'all hearing me? In fact, their strategically designed propaganda has been so effective. Now check this out. Their strategically designed propaganda has been so effective that even races and cultures that are thousands of years older than them have adopted their fabricated stories as their own historicity. For the last 1,100 years, these people have systematically duped, hoodwinked, brainwashed, and deceived the entire world with their lies until entire civilizations and cultures have been built on the premises of the lies that they made up. Y'all with me? The eponymous name. And again, what is an epitome? An epitome is when you identify yourself after the identity of someone who never really existed. The eponymous name that these people have chosen for themselves, which happens to be Jew, which comes from the word Judah. Actually, it was pronounced Judah because there was no J, so it was the Judaites or the Judites. And notice the similarity between Judah, Jude, Judas, which means betrayer and deceiver. Good God Almighty. The eponymous name that they've chosen for themselves, and check this out, and then they wrote a bogus origin of their false identity. That identity again is Jews. Their bogus program was so effective that they have also associated other bogus names with the word Jew. Wow. Other bogus name they created was Hebrew. From the eponymous identity of a so-called father of the Hebrew people called Abraham or Ibrahim, which never existed. And from a man named Eber, which never existed. They also created another eponymous identity called Israelites. From a man whose name was supposedly changed to Israel from Jacob, who also never existed. Now I'm going to drop something on y'all that a lot of
people ain't gonna like when they hear what I'm about to say. But there's a man who these people convinced us was a madman. These people that I'm talking about told us that this man was a satanic agent. He was a mass murderer. And we believed it because they said so. Everybody say this: when you control literature, you control what people think. These illegitimate people called Jews convinced the world that a man named Adolf Hitler was a madman. And we all grew up understanding that Hitler was a tyrant, that he was a madman. But I'm going to be honest with you. After doing some research on this, I found out, and this is my opinion, that it was these liars and deceivers that Adolf Hitler was trying to cleanse the world of. That's just my little humble opinion. You see, a lot of y'all don't know this, but Adolf Hitler studied the philosophical concepts of the North African people. And Adolf Hitler had come to realize the theft of African historiography by these deceivers, by these illegitimate Caucasoids who took on the identity called Jews. Hitler adopted one of the oldest symbols of God consciousness on this planet. It's called the swastika. We have come to hate the swastika because we've been taught by these people that the swastika is a symbol of Nazi Germany. That's not true. Now let me take you to school right for a minute here. If you look at the, first of all, the swastika comes back to us from ancient Egypt, 10,000 years BC. And if you look at the swastika, what you will see, those of you of the craft, you will see 4 squares. Representing 90-degree angles. You multiply 4 times 90. You come up with a perfect circle of 360 degrees, which represents the sun, the giver of life. So the swastika was actually an ancient Kemetic symbol that represented God consciousness. Representing Amun-Ra, or God's son. Now I know a lot of folk who hear this ain't gonna like what I'm saying. I really don't give a damn. My job is to tell you the truth, like it or not. If you don't like it, do what you feel you gotta do, but I'm gonna tell it. Because when I stand before the Creator, I'm gonna hold my head up high and say, I open the eyes of the blind by telling them the truth that they didn't want told. Now Hitler has been portrayed by these people as a madman. But then guess what else, y'all? They also portrayed Manuel Noriega as a madman. They also, the same people, portrayed Saddam Hussein as a madman. And you know what? We all listened to them and took their word for it. They tried to portray Idi Amin as a madman. They tried to portray Kwame Nkrumah as a madman. And anybody else that they can't control. Isn't it ironic they portraying George Bush as a madman? Now if there's somebody mad on this planet, that's who it is. Brothers and sisters, it would be an exercise in futility and inconsiderate of your intellectual vigilance, on my part to attempt to explain to you the biblical origins of such eponymous identities as Jews being the offspring of a so-called progenitor named Judah, or Hebrews coming from a fictitious character named Abraham, or Ibra, or Israelites being the offspring of some so-called God progenitor named Jacob. Within the context of this message, it would be an outright insult for me to try to use the very stories that these people made up to tell you about who they really are. So if you don't mind, I would like to lean today for my thesis on historical fact. Let's not go to the literature that they gave us in the first place. Let's go to history. Let history speak to us today. See, I can't use the Bible on this one because they gave us the Bible. I can't use the Talmud or the Torah or the Zendavesta or the Quran on this one because they gave us all this. Remember, if you control literature, you control what a people think. So in today's message, I want to simply expose some essential facts about these historical Caucasoids. Known as, and these are the two words you need to put together. Do your own homework on it. The first word is Khazar. Yes, sir. Spelled Khazar. The Khazars in the other group is called the Ashkenazim. Khazar again is Khazar. S if you want for plural. Those are the Russian Caucasoids that took on the identity of being Jews. You had some German Caucasoids that took on the identity of being Jews. They were called the Ashkenazim. Spelled Ashkenazi. Put an M on it for plural. Let me first tell you about the Ashkenazim. The Ashkenazim, or the Ashkenazi, or the German Jews. Ashkenazim is the general definition applied to the heterogeneous branch of European Jews. It referred in origin to the Jews dwelling in the land of Ashkenaz. Now let me show you how deep this is. They put it right here. Yes, they did. Because in Genesis, the 10th chapter, it tells you that one of the sons of the so-called progenitor of white folk, Japheth, one of his sons in Genesis 10:3, it says, and the sons of Gomer is Ashkenaz, which today is Germany. Yiddish became the official tongue of the Ashkenazim. It was from Germany that they migrated eastward and reached Russia, or the land of Khazaria, where we get the word Khazar from. Now check this out, y'all. These people are so powerful that they have falsified medical records and created bogus DNA reports that says that the Ashkenazim Jews are the direct descendants of Jacob. Wow. Well, Pastor, how you know they falsified the medical reports? Because Jacob never existed. So how you going to be a descendant of somebody who didn't exist? But as a part of their program for world control, they made up this story that we call the Old Testament. Y'all follow this. I'm talking about the people who just got here. Of people who never existed, but they wrote themselves into existence. That's some deep stuff. They literally wrote themselves into existence and then made themselves pre-existent of what already existed. And then said that what already existed came from them. Because the Bible says salvation is of the Jews. We've all been taught, those of you who study theology, we've all been taught that God's program of salvation for mankind was first extended to the Jews. That's right. And because a few Jews did not believe in Jesus Christ. Y'all see this? That it literally opened up the door for the Gentiles to be saved. And when the appointed number of Gentiles accept the gospel of Jesus Christ and be saved, then God is going to come back, and the Bible says, so all Israel will be saved. Do y'all follow this? The origin of the Khazars and their earliest history is unknown before the 6th century. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up for yourself. They cannot establish a legitimate existence before the mid-500s AD. Well, brother, where were they? They were nomadic, barbaric, animalistic white folk running around in the mountains of Europe. Who decided that they didn't want to be Christians. Follow this. Because the Roman Catholic Church existed at this time. They didn't want to be under the auspices of Rome, and they didn't want to be under the auspices of the Sheikh or Muslims. So how can they exist as a power? They went into Africa and saw our story. Copied it. Let's go back. First they stole it, copied it, plagiarized it, and then wrote themselves into it. And not only did they write themselves into it, but they twisted it to say that they were once captive in Egypt. under the hands of a cruel Pharaoh. And God sent plagues into Africa to make Pharaoh let these liars go. Y'all see this thing? I didn't know that there was no Exodus until I went to Egypt and did my own field research. There is no record of some Hebrews ever being led out of Egypt by a man named Moses. That story is in their made-up fabrication, their lie, their Torah, their Bible, and their Quran. Ah, shucks, I got to tell it. According to their own records, they are descendants from Togarmah. Again, 10th chapter of Genesis. Another name they made up. Everybody say this with me to the top of your voice. When a people do not have a past, they must create myth to supplement the facts of their existence. You got that? These people can't tell you their history because they ain't got none. The world had blossomed when they came out of the caves of the mountains, the Caucasus Mountains. Why do you think they're called Caucasians? Because they came out of the Caucasus Mountains. Now y'all dig this. In the year 861 AD. What year did I just say? 861 AD or ACE, after the Common Era, the Khazarian king named Bulan, B-U-L-A-N, officially adopted the stolen, plagiarized copy, bogus religion that they made up and called it Judaism. In 861. What's really deep is, now let me show you how powerful a lie is. These people own the newspapers. Y'all follow what I'm saying? And it's deep when you tell a lie to the world and you know that your lie has become so effective that you can now turn around and tell them the truth, knowing it's too late for them to do anything about it. So my purpose for sharing this message is not to try to do anything to them or change them. Their program is in place. My purpose for telling you this message is so that you'll drop this mess you've been believing in. Because the thing that makes them powerful is the fact that the world believes their story. The New York Times, October 29th, 1996. The October 29th, 1996 issue of the New York Times reveals that, and I quote, European descended Jews are counterfeits. In a major newspaper, it tells you that. And it goes on to say, and they have no bloodline to Abraham. Now, I know they ain't got no bloodline to Abraham because Abraham didn't exist. It goes on to say, and I quote, the fact that most of those who call themselves Jews are not Jews and have no claim to the lands of Palestine because they have no genetic relation to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob can no longer be suppressed. It goes on to say, scholars, this was the headline, scholars debate the origins of Yiddish and the migration of the Jews. Stating or saying, arching over these questions, is the central mystery of just where the Jews of Eastern Europe came from. You see, the Ashkenazim placed their energy into what would come to be known as the biblical text. Yeah. Centers for rabbinic scholarship came into existence in the 10th century. The first major Ashkenazi literary figure was a man named Rashi. Wow. R-A-S-H-I. Also known as Solomon ben Isaac. Now check out this. Solomon ben Isaac lived 1040 to 1105. You see how recent I'm talking here? I didn't say 3,000 years ago. I'm talking 1,000 years ago. And his commentaries, Rashi or Solomon ben Isaac, his commentaries on biblical and Talmudic literature are considered today as mandatory study among the Jewish children. Among the Jewish children. Among the Jewish children. How do you get this program into the minds of the world? Put it into the children. Make up the lie and then teach it to the children as the truth. And when these children grow up, they will be convinced that what they're saying is in fact real. The Jews even had their own craft guilds. Each kahal had a yeshiva where boys over the age of 13 learned the Talmudic and rabbinic text. And that's going on right now today. All you got to do is go out here in U City and you'll see it going on big time. I remember, and Mentuhotep is right here, he can bear witness. I remember one day, we went up Olive, I think it's Olive Boulevard there. First we went up Delmar to some Jewish studies center. I don't know the cross street there, and it was a center for Jewish studies. And I said, Mentuhotep, let's stop in here for a minute. I want to ask them something. And we pulled in and went inside. And they saw these two black men stepping up in there, and everybody got all defensive. And I said, I'm interested in whatever literature you have on Yahushua ben Pandira. Black folk ain't supposed to know about this. They looked at me and Mentuhotep and said, we don't have anything for you here. This is a center for our people. Now that's some deep stuff, because if we did that to them, we'd lose our tax exempt status. So I said, Mentuhotep, all right, let's go. There's another place on Olive, a Jewish bookstore there. So we went in there. And I stepped in and I said, I'm interested in material that you have on Yahushua ben Pandira. He looked at Mentuhotep and I saw two big bald-headed black men. And Mentuhotep, he said right there, bear witness. Every time we rode past that store for the next several months, that man would follow us with his eyes down the street. They cannot allow their lie to be exposed. But we're going to expose it. Gotta set this people free. By the end of the 19th century, how recent did I just say? By the end of the 19th century, there was massive Ashkenazim migration from Eastern Europe to other parts of the world. These people had a program and agenda for world domination. Y'all with me? Yes. They migrated to Australia. They migrated to South Africa. They migrated to the United States. They migrated even to a place called Israel, claiming that it was their land, because they convinced the world about that lie because they made it up. The Ashkenazim began to influence social customs everywhere, follow this, except North Africa. Yeah. Italy and the Middle East. Why didn't they have influence in North Africa, Italy, and the Middle East? Because North Africa was the birthplace of civilization. Too much evidence is there. That's where they stole the information to create their lie in the first place. And now North Africa is under Islamic thought. They didn't have much influence in Italy either. Why? Because the Vatican is in Italy. Rome. Before World War II, the Ashkenazim comprised 90% of the Jewish, so-called Jewish people of the world. Wow. Let me give you some definitions. How many of y'all have ever heard of the word Hebrew? All right. A Hebrew, by definition, is a person belonging to the worldwide group claiming descent from Jacob. An Israelite or a Jew. Again, from the word Judah, Jude, Judas. Traitor or betrayer. The word Israelite, by definition, is the ethnic group claiming descent from Abraham and Isaac, especially from Isaac's son Jacob. These are supposed to be the people whom God has chosen to be his own particular and special people. I guess, I can understand it, y'all. If I was writing myself into history, I would make myself God's chosen too. If I was writing myself into history, yeah, I would say that I'm special to God. And anybody that mess with me, God gonna kick your behind. If I was writing myself into history, I would tell y'all, if you bless me, God will bless you. If you curse me, God will curse you. Well, y'all, that's exactly what they did. This bogus history, this bogus his story of the Old Testament alone would reveal that the chosen people were descendants of a man named Israel. It's some deep stuff. Now let me prove my point, and I'm gonna try to expedite this because I'm losing my voice on this thing here. Everybody say stolen Kemetic philosophy becomes the bogus Jewish religion. Y'all following me? These nomadic, barbaric people, Caucasoids, who come out of the mountains with their beastly countenance. Some of them are beasts too. ideas for their story from ancient Kemet. This bogus religion called Judaism that resulted in the creation of the Torah, the Talmud, and the Old Testament can be proven to have its roots in the philosophical system of ancient Kemet. For example, let's examine the teachings of Pharaoh Amenhotep IV. Now, Pharaoh Amenhotep IV of the 17th dynasty was also known as Akhenaten. Y'all with me? Akhenaten is the author of some ancient scriptures known as the Amarna Papyrus. Now check this out. In fact, how many of y'all got Bibles with you? I'm going to read, turn in your Bibles to the 104th Psalm. Now remember, what you're reading is what they made up. I want you to see where they stole this from. Now here we got a people who just came on the scene as late as the 9th century AD. They had to get a story of an ancient existence from somewhere. So if you gotta steal a story of an ancient existence, where you gonna go? To an ancient people. The Amarna Papyrus, written by Pharaoh Akhenaten or Amenhotep IV, says these words. Now, in fact, read for me Psalm 104. What does it say? I'm listening. Thank you. Now go down to the 20th verse. What does it say? Thou makest darkness and what? It is night. Wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar. Y'all see this? Stop, stop, stop. You can follow me. The Amarna Papyrus says these words. When you set in the western horizon of heaven, the world is in darkness. The next line of the Amarna Papyrus says, every lion comes forward from his den. Y'all see the parallel here? Psalm 104, what we just read, it says, the young lions roar after their prey. They seek their meat from God. The Amarna Papyrus goes on to say, the serpents all sting and darkness reigns. Light falls over the earth when you rise in the horizon. The two lands are in daily festival. Then all over the world they do toil. How fruitful are your works? They are hidden from your presence. He goes on to say, oh, my only God, whose powers no other has. You alone created the earth as you desired, and alone all that are upon the earth. Now, I just read to you a text that dates back to 1,370 years BC. And a people who just came into existence in the 9th century went and stole that information and put it right there in Psalm 104. Oh, let me provide you with a little bit more evidence for my thesis today. One of the basic tenets of Judaism doctrines is found in the so-called first book of Moses. Now, y'all know we've been taught that Moses had 5 books, right? Those of you who are trained in Sunday school, what are those 5 books called? Start with a P. The Pentateuch, 5 books of the law. And they told us that Moses wrote this stuff. Moses ain't wrote squat. You know why? Moses never existed. They made up the name Moses from a great pharaonic Egyptian king known as Menkapen-Ra Tahuti Mase, who the white man changed his name to Thutmose. Come on. And they took Thutmose and got rid of the Thut. And created a figure called Moses that God supposedly sent to Pharaoh. In their story, follow this, in their story, in the first book of Moses, also called Genesis, they said that God said. I always wanted to understand that anyway. How in the world you know what God said? Who was there when he said it? According to them, they said that God said. Look at the person next to you and say, that's he say, she say stuff. They said that God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. How do they know that? Think, black people. You see, they can't tell you the origins of their existence. So they had to create a story of God making a white man called Adam. See, Adam is the beginning of their myth. Adam had some sons and some daughters, and if you trace all through the lineage, you come up to a man called Jesus. Who was supposedly a Jew. Buddy. Y'all understand what I'm saying here? I mean, do you really understand what's happening? Think back for a moment. Just take 15 seconds and process this thing and look at how many of your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents believed this lie that they made up. They lived and defended and died in a lie. And it never made sense to them. That's why the only joy that they could get out of it was what's going to happen over in glory land. Good God Almighty. When I get over in glory, how good it's going to be, because I'm putting all my hope in this story that I've been told, and it just ain't working. So maybe it'll work after I die. Good God from Zion. And the people that made up this lie, these illegitimate, bogus Caucasoids who call themselves Jews, don't believe it themselves. But then again, they ain't trying to believe it. They want you to believe it. While they own the banks, you believe the lie. While they control the media, you believe the lie. While they control your children's future, you believe the lie. Y'all, is this making sense? Thank you, because every Sunday, Mentuo Tep and I sing on the radio, get up, get up, get up. It's time to get up now, Africans. Does anybody have their copy? I'm going to close this with the cry of Marcus Garvey. Anybody got your copy of Psychic Trauma? let me see your copy there, Elder. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I want to read something for you. On page 345 of the book Psychic Trauma, if you don't have your copy of this, we have them in the Information Center. Page 345 of Psychic Trauma, the bottom paragraph. Those of you who have your copy, say Ashe. Good. I want y'all to read this with me. Page 345, bottom paragraph written in italics. If you have it, read with me. Here's what it says. The great white man has succeeded in subduing the world by forcing everybody to think his way. Y'all see this? Notice what it goes on to say. He has given to the world, from the Bible to his yellow newspaper sheet, a literature that established his right and sovereignty to the disadvantage of the rest of the human race. Am I losing you? Let me read that one part one more time. It says, this white man, this Caucasoid, this liar, this deceiver has given to the world, from the Bible to his newspaper, a literature that establishes his right and sovereignty to the disadvantage to the rest of the human race. I'm talking about a people who just got on the scene. Let's read the next paragraph. What does it say? The white man's propaganda has made him master of the world. Stop. The mess that he made up has made him master of the world. And check out this next line. And all those who have come in contact with it, meaning the white man's propaganda, and accepted it, becomes his slaves. Shots. How many of you sitting in this room came in contact with with the white man's propaganda. Every hand in this room ought to be raised. Some of y'all live in his propaganda. Some of y'all will still give your life to defend his propaganda. From his Bible to his newspaper. It says, if you've come in contact with it and accepted it, you become his slave. And I tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. How many of y'all accepted his propaganda? You know you did. We went to school. Not only did we accept it, we went to school and got degrees in it. And want to know why we as a people are in the condition we're in. Now I got to do this. I close this message with the same plea that Marcus Garvey put out several decades ago. At the top of page 346, what does Marcus Garvey say? The Universal Negro Improvement Association. That was the name of his organization. And by the way, how the white man tore it down is he planted black folk around Marcus Garvey to bring him down. Marcus Garvey's administrative assistant is the one who brought him down. He trusted the sister, and she worked for the system. Stuff he was supposed to be sending out never got sent out. And that gave them grounds to charge him with mail fraud. That's how they got him. Over some simple little dumb stuff like that. The Universal Negro Improvement Association is now calling upon the 4 million members of our race. I'm sorry, thank you. 400 million members of our race. Now here's where I'm repeating that clarion call. I'm asking you, Africans, and everybody that hears my voice, if you're on the internet, if you're on television, if you're listening to this by tape, whatever, I'm asking you to read it with me. Discard the psychology and propaganda of all other peoples and to advance our own. I beg you, discard their propaganda. I know you think you get joy out of it. What you get is anesthetization out of it. It doesn't deliver you, it puts you to sleep. You running and getting happy because you don't feel nothing. Doggone it. Your son is dying from drugs, and you've been anesthetized by their propaganda. I remember talking to a brother who said, Pastor, I went to my mother for help, who's a missionary. And when I went to her, she looked at me and said, God delivered Daniel from the lion's den. And in tears he said, Mama, can't you see I'm in a lion's den? Don't tell me about some Daniel. Tell me how to get out of my lion's den. I'm trying to tell you Africans what we got to do to get ourselves out of the lion's den that they made for us. We gotta discard the psychology and propaganda that they gave to us. I know it's painful. I know it's painful for you. It hurts, as you heard the preacher say a little earlier, at almost 50 years old, to come into the realization that everything you've been standing on is a lie. That hurts. But I'm so glad you found out, brother, before you closed your eyes. I'm so glad I found out before I closed my eyes. We got to get this message out to our people. Y'all, I'm willing to die for this. I have no other reason for breathing but to get this message across to my people. And those of you who are agents, who's sitting up in here listening to me, make yourself comfortable. I know you got a job to do. You do your job, I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna set as many of my people free as I can. And then when I die and they bury me, I'm gonna turn over and tell you to, because I've done my job. I got children in here. I swear before God and the ancestors, I'm going to use every drop of energy that I have to see to it that these young people get right knowledge. Now, I got to say it to you because I'm feeling this thing here today. I ain't lying. If you can't get on board with that, then get the hell out of here.
I hope you got something out of that message today, brothers and sisters. I really do. I have to be honest with y'all. Like I said, I don't hardly get to listen to myself, but as I was sitting with you, listening to the message today, it's like, wow. All I can say is to the ancestors and to the Most High, thank you for rescuing me from the lie that I was in. And not only rescuing me, but allowing me to be an instrument of truth to help set our people free. Yeah, I can understand it. And I was looking at a lot of the comments and I saw one person that stated that this video had been removed from YouTube. Well, I'm so glad I have all of these messages and, in my archives. And my goal is to digitize them and make them available for you guys to download them. So we're going to work on that this coming week or the following week. Maybe not this coming week. I have eulogies to do this week. Oh my goodness, brothers and sisters, I am so thankful. I'm moved to tears here, man, because I am so thankful that I'm just glad to be an instrument, one of the many instruments. There's some great teachers out there, and I'm honored to be just one of them, that's here to make sure that our young people get the truth. I don't want my grandchildren and your children to grow up under the lies that we grew up under, so please feel free to share this video. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification button so that when I go live, you'll know I'm live, We got work to do. We've come a long way, but guess what, y'all? We still got a long way to go. A long way to go, And hey, what can I tell you? I have to be honest with y'all. I'm stirred up today by my own message. I'm stirred up, man. I'm stirred up here. Yeah. The power of the truth, the knowledge of the truth will make you free. I was reading the comments that were being posted. Guys, thank you for the words of encouragement. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. I admire you. Yeah, buddy. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. When I think about all the stuff I've been through for simply wanting to tell the truth, and here we're still standing. Well, of course, I'm sitting now, but you know what I mean, right? All I can say is, glory be to the Most High and to our ancestors and to you guys for your support. That means everything, man. The greatest teacher in the world is nothing if no one listens to them. So the very fact that you guys are with me every week, it means so much to me. Thank you guys so very much. And to those out there, you ministers who have been watching, because that's really what spawned me going back and grabbing some of my old messages. Okay, again, ministers wanting to know, Brother Ray, how can I move my congregation into right knowledge like you did your congregation? As we were listening, I was thinking about our Queen Mother at the Afrikan village, how she explained to me one day that when I started teaching, she was going to leave, the ministry, because she thought I was a false teacher and leading the people astray. And she went home and told her husband, I can't sit under this man. He's teaching stuff I'd never heard before. And she let him hear some of my messages, and he said, don't you go nowhere. You stay right there and listen to this man, because he's telling you what I've been trying to tell you for years. Oh boy, a change is coming. Sam Cooke recorded that, right? A change is going to come. It's coming. And I'm glad I'm a part of it. And I'm glad you are a part of it. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, if you would take a moment and share with us, your substance. Well, of course, before doing that, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right. Send me your email. I welcome your email. All right. There's my email address there, rayhagins@gmail.com. If I don't get to you right away, then just bear with me, because I get at least 250 to 300 email every week, and I try to respond to all of it myself. I don't have time to teach by way of email. That's why I have the videos. That's why I do this every Sunday, to teach. Okay. But if I can send you a short reply, then so be it. I don't debate at all. I don't do that anymore. I don't have time or the energy for it. Okay. So you can save your debate, your disagreements. You can keep all that to yourself. Okay. I teach. That's what I do. One of my teachers, the late, great Dr. John Henrik Clark, said it this way. I only debate my equals. All others I teach. Well, I can't even say I debate my equals, because I don't know who my equals are. Okay, I consider myself a student. Those who might be my equals, I consider them my teachers. When I say that, I mean warriors like Professor James Small, for example. Great brother, one of my elders. He's not that much older than me, but I consider him one of my elders, my brother, Hiawatha Kabane, great brother, awesome brother. These are these are brothers who I don't even consider myself their equal, you know. And we don't debate because we're brothers. We're on the same page, you know. So I'm just honored today, you know. So brothers and sisters, feel free to go to my webpage. Like I said, it's still in process of being developed, but you can still hear the teachings. You can go there and listen to my lectures 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. Also, you want to make your donations to show your support, please feel free to do that. All right, here's how you can make your donations. If you're donating through uh, PayPal, and by the way, before I even go any further than that, to those of you who've been making your donations, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate it. You know, it helps keep us going as far as our expenses and what have you. Um, yeah. But, you know, can you believe that we still are paying bills at the African Village and we're not even there? You know, but we get bills like crazy, man. Our gas bill this past month was over $1,000. We haven't been using the building, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. You know, okay. I don't want to do too much talking. I don't want you to lose the message, but you can always come back and listen to it. All right, but here's how you make your donations. Okay, um, through PayPal. All right, PayPal address is AfricanVillage1 at AOL.com. If you're making your donation through Cash App, it's hashtag Dr. Ray Hagins, and my name is spelled Hagins, not Higgins, Higgins. Okay, it's Hag, one G, not two G's. Dr. Ray Hagins. All right. If you're making your donation through Zelle, it's my email address, rayhagins@gmail.com. For those who want to mail your donation in, you see our address there. Okay. The African Village, 3520 North Newstead Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. Even though we're not meeting, our office manager, Sister Valerie, still goes down there, okay, to get whatever mail comes, okay, so that we can handle our business affairs. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, of course, you know I can't close out without letting you guys know about one of the greatest organizations that I've been blessed to know of, and that is the Black Achievement Fund. Okay, if you have not joined the Black Achievement Fund, come on and do so. All right. In fact, every Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, our president and founder, Brother Arki Hodges, goes live to talk about the Black Achievement Fund. So just go to baf.solutions, okay, and watch the video so you can see the vision, so you can go ahead and decide to be a part of us, okay? And I wrote this down because I keep getting it wrong every time I try to do it off the top of my head. But imagine, our goal is this: 10 million Black people at $9 a month, right? That's over $1 billion a year, right? Wow. Can you imagine what we can do with that? As I talk with Brother Arki, he lets me know that, you know, I mean, he just shares with me his vision, you know, establishing our own medical facilities, you know, our own dental facilities, our own grocery stores, you know, our own low income housing for our brothers and sisters. The brother's got a vision. That's why I partnered with him and his vision. You know, I not only did I take out a personal membership, I took out a corporate membership for the African Village. All right. And you can do that as well. So come on and join the Black Achievement Fund. $9 a month. Come on, people. We blow more than that a day, right? $9 a month for our empowerment as African people. And wouldn't it be great to know that you belong to an organization that is there to assist in time of need? You know, I think about the catastrophes that happen and how the government does not come to our aid. Well, when we have our own organization that we can turn to because we're members of that organization. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. It's called economic empowerment for ourselves. Okay, so come on and join the Black Achievement Fund. Go to baf.solutions, not .net, not .org, not .com. Okay, baf.solutions, as you see at the bottom of the screen there. Okay, so come on and be a member of the Black Achievement Fund. Okay, brothers and sisters, I have enjoyed today's fellowship with you. Okay, yeah. So spread the word. Spread the word. We got work to do. Okay, we got work to do. So let's get ready to get out of here by lifting our voices together and singing "The African in Me Loves the African in You." When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. You know why? Because you're easy to love. So come on, family. Let's do that right now. Close out with our song. I'm all of y'all, right? Yeah. You're so easy to love. Oh, yeah. I have had a ball today listening to the teaching myself, right? You're easy to love. Come on, everybody. The African in me. Let's do it. The African in me. Love the African in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. You're easy. You're easy. Easy to love. You're easy to love. Oh, yeah. Let's say it again. Come on. The African in me. Love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. You're easy. Oh, yeah. You're easy. Easy to love. You're so easy to love. Come on. The truth that's in me, love, the truth that's in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. You're easy. You're easy. I marry you too, PJ. Yeah, you're easy to love. You're so easy to love. How about justice? Come on, let's do it. The justice in me, love, the justice in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. Oh, yeah. You're easy. You're easy to love. Righteousness in me. Let's do that one. Come on, everybody. Sing it like you mean it. The righteousness in me. Love the righteousness in you. When we come together, ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. Woo! You're easy. You're easy to love. Let's close out with the African in me. Love the African in you. Everybody, let's do it. Come on. The African in me. Love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. You're easy. Oh, shucks now, yeah. You're easy. You're easy to love. Family, until next week, you guys out there stay strong, okay? Keep your head up and understand, as my brother Hiawatha Kamene says, it ain't over until we win, all right? You guys out there stay strong, brothers and sisters. See you next week.